Hi guys, in this video I will show you some tips when you're using Postman to test your REST API, and that is really important tips and way to help you improve your performance when you work with the REST API endpoint for testing. Now the first one is using collection. You can see we can have the collection here. Collection, it means that groups of the APIs or the endpoint have the same business or the same project. So in this case, I will create the new collection, something like this. And we can see it's create a new collection like test collection, and we can import the collection or delete the collection, something like this one. And in this video I use the existing collection Spring REST demo, but this one I will add the new endpoint or the get methods and set the request, or I can save this endpoint to the collection here, the REST Spring REST demo. That is the groups of the API with the endpoint, and when we say this one, you can use later, and it also say the request body or the parameter you can use in this one. Okay. So we also import the collection to your local machine, like it ports here, and when you export it, it will extract to you the JSON file. This can help you use later, or you can send this file to your coworker and help them to import to their local machine, and they can use. So in this case, I export it, and now I will import this file to my Postman, and I delete this one and import again. So you just click import and import the file you want to save. Now, yeah, it had the same name before Spring REST demo, and you can see that the collection it appear here with two endpoints already saved before. Okay, the second tip is copy and paste header, and you can see that for each endpoint we have a header like we add something like content type, application JSON, or we can add the token for the header when we log in the API. For some API need to authentication, so we have to set the token in the header when you request. But for that one, but for another API, like another API in the same project, you have to do the same thing to put something like content type, and you copy the header, copy the token from a request to another request, and we have to do this again and again. It's very tired, right? So we have another way to do that. That is we use bug edit. Yeah, you can see that when we use bug edit, you can copy this one to bug edit and paste in another request, and you can switch back. You can see that it's already here. So we need not to copy one by one parameter in the header. We just use bug edit to copy the list of the parameter from one request to another request. It can save a lot of time. And now the third tip is use the CURL. For anyone who don't know CURL, you can see that when I have the endpoint API here with the request, but I want to send my request with the URL. If we just send the URL, people don't understand what is the request sent to the server. So in this case, we can use the CURL here. You can see that we can import in the C URL, I copy this and part here. And when in this case with the post methods in the request, they already have the body request, the request body here. So it's quite save your time when you need not to copy one by one. So, and the last one is also really important, manage environment. And we can see that in this case, I have the employee, API employee here in the local host. And that is the local host in my machine. But one day I want to change the link to another environment, like the link to the dev environment or production environment. So how can I change that? I have to copy the link here. It's very tired, right? So one more time, in the case they support the environment variable. So in the case, I will create the new environment, and we will add the new variable, something like base URL, and we can put the link of the base URL, that is the prefix of every link in your project. It's something like localhost with the port 8080. Yeah, you can copy the prefix of the link here because it's same for every request. It is the same for every request, so I will copy this one and put this one. Yeah, so this is the one variable is used for the local environment here. Yeah, you can see that. And when you can add another variable, something like this, something you frequently in your project, you can put it in the variable, and you need not to do the copy link again and again, right? So now I will use the variable I just named this is the base URL. So in the case it with is something like this. Yeah, for another request, I will change to the base URL. Okay. Yeah, it's error because we have to choose the environment in the right corner here. So I choose the local environment. So you can see that in the base URL, they will show you about the information of base URL. So, okay, that is not found. You can see the reason because you can see in the URL we have the / redundant. See here, we save it, and now we can send it again. So you can see that now I can use the base URL variable. In this case, it's quite clear to see that. Okay, and in when we have another environment like something like that environment, and in this case we also create the new the same variable but the different value is something like that /demo, for example, something like that, because in this case I don't have the another link, so I just demo it. And when you go to the request, the employee, you can choose another environment. So for this one, you can switch between the environment, dev, local, production, and you need not to change for every request because it's referred to the link. And you when you want to change the link, and you just change in the environment. So we need not to change for every request. It's so tired. So now the important thing here, we can export your you can import your environment file. So in this case, I will import the local environment, And when I import this one, I will get this file in the JSON format. It can contain the information of the environment for the local environment, and so you can import the environment. For example, I will delete this environment, and so I import it again. Okay, this one, it can help you to send your environment to your coworker, and they can import it to their machine and they can use it. So you can see the demo local environment appear here, and we can import and use. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video.